People judged her choice. They called her weak. They said, if you were strong, you would leave. But no one asked why she stayed. They saw the outside. They never saw the nights. They never heard the silence. This is not a story about weakness. This is a story about quiet courage. My name is Lena, and this is the story of why I stayed. Everyone thinks leaving is brave, but sometimes staying costs more courage than running away. This story is about that kind of strength. When people heard my story, they shook their heads. They said, why are you still there? They said, you deserve better. They said, if I were you, I would leave. I listened. I smiled. I stayed silent because explaining my life felt heavier than living it. I did not stay because I was afraid to leave. I stayed because leaving was not the answer people thought it was. My marriage did not start with love. It started with responsibility, with pressure, with promises made in difficult times. At first, I felt invisible. I cooked. I cleaned. I waited. I spoke, but my voice felt small. Some days, I cried in silence. Some nights, I asked myself, what did I do wrong? People only saw the hard moments. They never saw the effort. They never saw the growth. They told me to leave on my worst days, but they were not there on the quiet good ones. One night changed everything. I was sitting alone, holding my fear like a heavy stone in my chest. I finally said the words I had hidden for so long. I feel tired of being strong. I expected silence. I expected distance. Instead, he said softly, I didn't know you felt this alone. That moment broke something open. For the first time, I was not carrying everything by myself. That was the night I realized something important. Staying was not about accepting pain. It was about facing it together. Things did not become perfect. We argued. We failed. We learned slowly. But respect grew. Listening grew. Care grew. I started to see change. Not loud change. Real change. I was no longer invisible. I was seen, heard, valued. And I changed too. I stopped blaming myself for choosing patience. I stopped calling my strength weakness. People think courage looks loud. They think it looks like walking away. But sometimes courage is staying calm, speaking honestly, giving time a chance to work. Not every woman who stays is trapped. Some are building something quietly. I stayed not because I was broken. I stayed because I believed growth was possible. And sometimes belief is the strongest thing you can hold. Today I stand differently. Not because life became easy, but because I became stronger. If you are listening to this and feeling judged, remember this. Your life is not a story others can understand from the outside. Only you know your reasons. Only you know your strength. Staying is not always weakness. Sometimes it is the bravest choice of all. If this story touched you, like the video. Subscribe to Story English Academy. Como vilo? What part of this story stayed with you? And if you want, share your story. You are not alone.